So it's best of 9 for a place in the quarterfinals of the Wuhan Open. It's Barry Hawkins to get us underway. He's not really been tested yet. Of course, he had to win a qualifying match. He's since beaten Sanderson Lamb 5-2, Jamie Jones 5-1. Fergal O'Brien alongside me. It's an interesting rivalry, this, Fergal. Very, very close on the head-to-head.
Good morning, David. Yeah, surprisingly, they've played so many times. Again, if you take every match, including some of the matches in the Championship League, played 29 times. There's literally, Judd's just literally 2 frames ahead. That's how evenly matched they are. And of course, recently played, Barry winning in Germany. With so many seeds dropping out, they probably consider themselves a bit unfortunate to have such a difficult opponent.
That's right. Whoever wins the match is going to be, I think, a big favourite in that top half to get to the final. It doesn't always work out that way, obviously, but there's a certain feel about this one. It's a big one in terms of the rest of the tournament. As Trump nails that long red, we were wondering what sort of shape he'd be in. Obviously, flying from the UK on Monday, so it takes a good 24 hours with all the connections and everything to get to Wuhan. So he didn't have a lot of time to acclimatise, but he said himself he came here in a great mood. He said that yesterday, obviously having won a tournament, looking forward to playing again, and got through the 2 matches yesterday pretty comfortably. He made 2 centuries against Ollie Lines and whitewashed Matt Sell. Just caught the yellow there, so didn't quite go to plan.
He's obviously very happy with that new tip he had to put on during the interval on Sunday. Probably for the last week or two, it's probably been a bit of a worry about the tip, particularly if he took 1 or 2 chips out of it. Probably couldn't get the reaction he normally would get. And then when you're not playing, you're probably thinking a lot about if you will change it, when to change it, what will the new tip be like. But obviously, that worked out very well for him. Spent Sunday afternoon, instead of going back to the hotel, spent a couple of hours at the venue trying to bang the new tip in. And obviously worked in his benefit. A fantastic comeback. Played brilliant.
Yeah, and he's scoring this season. Trump, this is 26 centuries already. You know, we're only in October. He made 102 in the 2019-20 season. And, you know, the early signs are could end up around that sort of figure again, depending obviously on which events he plays in going forward.
Yeah, that amount of centuries. You might only find maybe 10 players during the season that will get more than that. And again, we're only in October. Fantastic.
Well, certainly now he's won a tournament, he's dangerous, because it had been 19 months since his last ranking success. Get the feeling it won't be another 19. Of course, he won the last ranking event staged in China, the World Open 2019. He was on a great run then. He was world champion. And the run did continue behind closed doors, but of course coming to China stopped. So Trump, he'd won the international championship as well a few weeks before that. So, you know, he's experienced to coming out to this part of the world and being successful. Hawkins as well, though, dangerous at the moment because he's won a tournament this season. Got himself back in the top 16 as a result.
Yeah, as great as a player Barry is, strong in all departments, still can tend to be underestimated. When we're talking about potential winners of tournaments, tend to mention other people before him, but on his day, as good as anyone.
Well, look at the shot he's played here. It's perfect pace. At the Masters, they actually played each other in the semis, these two, but Hawkins had whitewashed Mark Allen 6-0. And Mark Allen, he may as well have pulled up a chair to that bulk cushion because it seemed every time he came to the table in that match, that's where he was completely frozen out.
looks like he's got the reward for that excellent safety. Nice putt there into the middle. Able to hold for the black. Heavy scorer on his day. Excellent tactical game. That's why you can see he's such a good record in the World Championships over those longer matches. Even if he's not at his very best, scoring heavy, can still always find a way to win. Then on those good days he wins, and wins very efficiently.
Yeah, I know he was delighted to win that tournament because he had some reversals in finals, some quite notable ones in the Masters and other big tournaments. So to show up and play his best stuff for the final clearly delighted him, especially against a player like Trump, who would have been favourite going in.
16.
So Hawkins played a very good safety to earn this opening. And now it's up to him to just show Trump how good he's feeling in the early stages of this match. You're never quite sure in China how anyone slept or how their sort of body clock is doing. But Hawkins at the moment looking good early on.
And even if you've slept very well the first 3 nights, there's no guarantee the fourth night will be a good night as well. So he's obviously been there longer than Judd, so probably more likely to be settled in into somewhat of a pattern. Judd playing yesterday, and fair play to him, coming through 2 matches against 2 dangerous opponents.
Yeah, it was important for Hawkins to get back in the top 16 as well, to just avoid sort of going to qualifiers and so on. I was looking at it in the provisional seedings. Okay, he's 14, but he's a good 35,000 in front of 15. So he's looking good for UK seeding, Masters and so on. Hasn't come ideal on this one, though. Still needs potting. Just feel one more pot and good position to play, ideally perfect on the blue. Should set him up for the frame. And just landed straight, probably might just have to drop it in again. Ideal opportunity here in potting this and get perfect on the blue. With the black just being available into one pocket, obviously having to work off the blue, but not too difficult. The reds are very nicely spread, and you would expect them to win the frame from this visit.
Very rarely misses anything. Simple Barry. Played that very well. Looks like finally he's got the opportunity to get on that black. This makes it easier. The white ball won't have to travel so far.
Yeah, he's recovered the situation well, and now needs 2 more pots to not only win the first frame, but to win it in one visit. Trump was in very early on, but then he found himself, after that good safety from Hawkins, in a bit of trouble and left the chance. Just get the feeling this is going to be a really good match today. We know they're both playing well this season, both full of confidence, and they seem to bring the best out in one another as well. It's just got a very tidy, neat way of playing. They don't sound like compliments, but that's the secret in this sport, really, to stay in control. It may not always feature in the sort of shot of the championship and all that, but they tend to be sort of glamour shots, and they can often be one-offs. The bread and butter is this, isn't it? It's making these breaks.
He's played a perfect frame here. Excellent safety shot. Created a chance. And he's taken these very well. He's had a little bit of work to do with the white. Again, no problem to him. When he gets into a groove, he's the kind of player that can rattle off 3 or 4 frames quickly and in one visit.
Well, even that last shot to get perfect on the yellow, you know, the cue ball had to travel. It's frame 1. He's not played on this table before, but he seems to have got conditions down already. So this green then for a century in frame 1. Great start for the Hawk. He will feel he's going to have to play well to beat Trump at the moment, after having just won a title. He'll feel that anyway, whenever he played him, but especially now he understands the high of winning a tournament, because he's won one himself this season.
And on the other side as well, you feel Judd's going to feel he has to play his very best to beat Barry. As they've played a lot of times, you describe it as a friendly rivalry, but the great respect for each other's games.
Pink stays out. Great start, though, from Barry Hawkins. 109 from his first chance. He's played, as Fergal says, a perfect frame. 1-0, first to 5, reaches the quarterfinals. Judd Trump gets frame 2 underway. He did have the initial chance in frame 1. He didn't come to much, and then Hawkins made 109. Yeah, you can see him sort of wincing. It was a definite chance. So let's see if Trump can hit back. I guess Fergal, when he was nailed to the baulk cushion, then that would be memories of his first ever match on tour against a certain Dubliner who was well known for making things difficult for young opponents. You played him in his first ever match.
Yeah, exactly. It was a while ago. I managed to beat him the first 2 times, mainly through experience and tactical play. But any time we've played since then, he's dismantled me, to be fair. I think that's the big improvement in his game over the years. His tactical, his safety play, his quality of safety play, and tactical knowledge. There's a tendency when you're a great potter to sometimes fall in the trap of relying on it too much, playing low percentage shots.
Yeah, I think in snooker, as in any sport, you learn the hard way, and you look at what everyone else has got in their armour and you think, OK, to keep improving, I need a bit of that, without sacrificing what your strengths are, which, of course, for Trump is the potting and getting frames open very quickly and killing them off very quickly.
Yeah, he didn't need to change his game. He just needed to add it to his game. A lot of that was just through playing. Whether you like it or not, after a period of few years, you've gained greater knowledge. Certainly more or less a complete player now, and still has those dangerous weapons. Obviously phenomenal cue power, gives him such a great range of shots. We talked at the start of the season about the importance of making a good start to the season. Obviously didn't win a ranking tournament last year. Sometimes a good start to the season can set the tone for that season. Obviously got to the final in Germany and then a great win in the English Open. And you wouldn't be at all surprised if he wins numerous tournaments this season. Said very consistent, and certainly seems to have the hunger back to add more titles to his long list.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tournaments, of course, to come. So it'll be very interesting to see how he kicks on from that victory on Sunday. Right now, though, he's looking to kick on from the way Hawkins won frame 1. Showed great resilience, of course, from 7-3 down to Zhang, particularly with the issues with the tip as well. And also, these players, they don't have vast entourages. It's not like Trump could just sort of tell someone to, there you go, knock this tip in for me for the next 2 hours. He had to do it himself. Travels with his brother Jack, of course. Now, is he still on one to this middle pocket?
He's just looking at the angle of the red that he's closest to, probably the easiest of the pots available. But again, was never sure where the white was going. That's why he's chosen the slightly more difficult pot, but more likely to get good position to play. Yeah, excellent pot there.
Yeah, we've only been going about 20 minutes, but this is already a terrific match. I think we kind of thought it would be. There's every reason to believe it would be.
Yeah, you never felt whoever won was going to play bad and kind of fudge their way through it. Both of them full of confidence. And again, if Judd wasn't totally focused, Barry's century right off the bat will certainly focus his attention. And again, we could be in for an absolute classic here.
Yeah, no, I don't know that Trump would look at it in terms of revenge for what happened in Germany, but I think against Hawkins, because he's been beaten so many times by him, you know, he does have to really focus and would regard it as a good win. Changing hands for this one. Remember on the head, Ted, it's 8-7 Hawkins, so it's a very good record against someone who's had so much success as Trump has in recent years. So this next red will get him to the snooker's required stage. Barry Hawkins had a go at the long red to the left corner, didn't get it, sort of winced as if he knew. And this is what was coming. Judd Trump stepped in and has won the frame from it.
Yeah, from the break-off, Judd would have been fearful when he left that red for Barry. Probably expected Barry to pot it. And of course, Barry, once Judd pot the first red, I'm sure he feared the worst.
Well, watch this pink. Watch this pink. Whew, well, he got away with that, hasn't he? Because that would have been one snooker needed had that gone in. That was a little...
Might have even had the free ball as well.
Yeah, that was a little bit dangerous. But he got away with it. It was ultimately a good break. But that wasn't recommended, that last shot. Anyway, good start to this match. All square, one each. Barry Hawkins getting frame 3 underway. It's been a lively start here. He made 109 in the first, Trump 76 in the second.
I think Barry just had a little look that if he did play the red into the yellow pocket, if he missed it, would he get cover with the 3 ball colours? Very well struck. Kind of pot that gives you a lot of confidence, cueing off the cushion. And you just feel already might just take one mistake or half a mistake and it could well be the end of the frame. In modern game, obviously a lot more attacking than previous generations, and as a result of that, it puts more importance actually on the safety game. What was safe in the 90s and noughties is not safe. It's actually probably a good chance now.
Yeah, and the other factor in this match is they're both feeling so good about the games at the moment. They have the confidence when these chances come along or when they force them to take them. Hawkins immediately getting the reds into play.
Like a lot of left-handed players, right-handed when he uses the rest. It's quite unusual. I can't think of any right-handed player I know that uses the rest with his left hand. Judged it well at cannon. Not just the cannon on the black, but making sure it came away from the cushion. See a good few open reds here. Be looking for at some point to try and disturb that cluster. He's going to need some of those reds in that cluster. Again, rather than try and hold for the blue and take a risk, just played for a bigger area down the table, choice of ball colours. It sounds nearly contradictory, but the better the player, the more simple he tries to keep it. Playing for areas, giving themselves choices of shots. It's an angle here. The black can just maybe play a gentle cannon into the pack and probably still be on that red that's closest to the black. Yeah, just screwed into that slightly rather than more of a stun shot. Looks like end of break.
Yeah, and this red near the middle pocket might complicate things here.
Yeah, he's just come over there to see where it can leave the white, obviously to block the red. I'm not sure if it's even possible it could play a double onto it, but I think if he leaves the white down the balk area, there's every chance he'd leave that red. And he's just looking for red just far enough away from the middle pocket. It's not really a question here of the length he gets on the white. His main priority is just to leave it in a position that Judd can pot that red over the middle pocket. Yeah, he actually was tempted by that double. Two benefits. You can maybe pot the red or take it away from it.
Yeah, it's very nicely done. I think Hawkins was fearful of that, actually, as he went back to his seat. Trump potting one red off the other. So, out of nowhere, really, he's got himself in. And I think that's the thing with two players playing as well as they are. It's not going to take much for a frame to turn round. It's not going to take probably 4 or 5 mistakes. It's going to take one. It's 1-1, by the way, between Mark Allen and Jack Lisowski. They played a memorable match at the UK Championship semis last season, which included a very nervy decider that, of course, Mark Allen won.
Looks totally at ease with himself. And his game. Beautiful feeling for him to have coming off winning that tournament. His cue ball control is excellent. And yet if you feel he's left with a difficult or tricky pot, you fully expect him to pot that as well. He judged that well, just left himself a nice angle on the black. He's up to cannon in the pink, away from that red. Beautifully played. That looks so simple, but take a lot of judgment. That red nearest the yellow corner pocket. Look to try and get as close as he possibly can. So obviously in playing this, he's able to get away from the cushion, get on one of the colours. Also just coming across to have a look at the angle on the red into the middle pocket. Beautiful little bit of right hand side there. They had it close, quite straight obviously on this. As we know, tremendous power. It'll still take quite accurate if he tries to pot it and power it away from it. Yeah, that was always the difficulty in trying to not just pot it but get away and try and get on one of the ball colours. .25 ahead. Doesn't have to go for a pot. Might be tempted to maybe try and get it colour safe.
Yeah, I mean, that shot he played at the end of the last frame, I'm sure he was trying to make a century. You know, he's on 76. He wasn't quite on a red, so he sort of powered them, and it very nearly backfired. And maybe now he thinks, okay, it's time to be a bit more sensible.
Sometimes you can overthink these situations. It looks like if it just rolls up behind the brown, guaranteed snooker. And if you just take it, you're 25 ahead and your opponent is snookered. And if he decides to put a colour safe, it sounds obvious, but he's got to make sure he gets it safe. Again, which he didn't there. Might be fortunate. That flick on the pink might have snookered Barry. But again, if Barry is not snookered or hits this red and gets away with it, Judd would have no insurance. So quite careless there. As I said, if you're going to get a colour safe, get it safe.
Yeah, it's like he played it still thinking about what else he could have done, i.e. rolling up for the snooker. Anyway, he's been a little fortunate.
Quite unusual playing that kind of escape to hit it so soft. You felt if he hit the red at that pace, chances are he'd leave it on. It looks like it's his turn to get a little bit of fortune. The green blocking it. these kind of scrappy frames or close frames could well be the deciding factor in who wins this match. You feel to be frames that both players will win in one visit.
Wow, what a result that is. What a result. And now the fact Trump doesn't have the blue safe really does come into it. Because if he leaves a chance here, they're all on for Hawkins. That'll do nicely. Very nicely, actually.
He couldn't have asked for much better there, Judd, to hit it and get away with it. You feel Barry still has control. Might be looking if he can send the red up the table, maybe between pink and black, and maybe get cover behind the blue as well. Felt that was a bit too risky. Again, made his priority making sure he just got the red safe. Great response by Judd there. Fantastic shot there from Barry. Just the angle to spread up both cushions and the pace. Probably find himself in trouble again, however. Again, Judd with a touching ball. He does have the option of putting the colour safe. With a touching ball, he just obviously play onto that colour. I've seen players nominate green in that kind of situation, forgetting they had the touching ball. And again, that's a very good shot there. He's got the snooker, but also that green on the cushion. Very similar shot again. Did it before, but still very difficult to do it again.
Well, Trump's going to take it on. He only needs the red. And in it goes. Some good safety there from Trump. Green and security. The red goes in. So it's looking like 2-1 to him. Hawkins was in initially. Judd Trump, they're on a roll right now, and okay, he's had to fly a long way for this tournament, but he's come here in a very good state of mind. Just imagine if he'd have lost that final, maybe lost it heavily to Zhang Anda, he would not be feeling the same way and may not have made it to Thursday in this tournament. But Trump on a high and in front in this match. Lost the first frame, he's won the next two. It's been good stuff from both. High quality in all areas. Trump leads 2-1. This match has been going about 45 minutes and we've already had 3 frames and very interesting ones as well. Hawkins 109 in the first, Trump 76 in the second. The third was much tighter. Trump won the safety battle and won it on the last red. So 2-1. He needs 3 more for victory, of course. This is the last before the interval. Wu Yiz has had a century in frame 1 against Steve Maguire. Maguire's won the second, though, with what looked like a big clearance. It's 1-1 Mark Allen and Jack Lazowski, and it's 1-1 as well Zhao Guodong, Tom Ford.
Judd obviously felt that red would go past. The other red managed to clip it. Quite fortunate there as well in missing it and colliding into other balls. He did leave a chance for Barry. And neither player will be happy that the black's gone onto the cushion as well. When the black is tied up, there is less pressure then on your safety shots. You're not totally worried that if you do make a mistake, it'll definitely be the end of the frame.
Mark Allen's just won a big frame next door on the pink with a clearance against Lazowski, who was nicely in, broke down unexpectedly. Allen, of course, won 3 ranking titles last season. Hasn't quite got going this season yet, but it's looking good there at the moment. 2-1. It's been well attended, this tournament. The crowd's close to the action as well, which just creates a good atmosphere. Yeah, Barry took that opportunity to get the black into play. And even if he had, for example, potted the black, 7 points, no damage done. It would have been on its spot anyway, as it is out in the open. And as I said before, it's extra little bit of pressure on the safety shots.
Might be tempted with coming off the side cushion. Get a half ball contact on the red. Get it down the table and the white away. Has to be careful. Got a little bit thicker than he would have liked, and as a result he's left option of 2 reds for Judd. But not easy pots, and they're certainly made a bit more difficult by position of play, is not guaranteed. Yeah, it wasn't a natural angle, wasn't guaranteed to be something. You can just get distracted, a little bit curious as to where the white ball will go. Pot's such a high percentage of long pots, Judd, that we nearly just take them for granted. But for Barry now, a very good chance to re-establish himself.
Yeah, he will use his experience to put to bed the fact he didn't win the last frame after the initial chance. It's a difficult end to the season, of course, having to go to the qualifiers for the World Championship and not getting through to the Crucible, and for the first time in many years not being part of that, knowing it was on, probably tuning in now and again as well and just wishing he was part of it. But to put all of that right, basically right at the start of the season, just shows what a strong character he is. He's turned it all round back in the 16 and feeling good about his game again.
Missing out in the Crucible might actually work out as a blessing to him. Maybe a wake-up call to him. Probably come back. Not that he was ever taking anything for granted. Probably obviously worked a little bit harder. Doesn't want to miss out on not just the Crucible, but missing out on winning titles. And something like that, a setback, if you respond the right way, can be the making of you. And it certainly is at the moment to Barry.
Yeah, and his record, for his record at the Crucible as well, having not won it, is pretty formidable. He's been runner-up and 4 times a semi-finalist. So that's why, obviously, he was so disappointed not to be there, because he could have done some damage there for sure.
Yeah, fantastic record there. You couldn't possibly name 16 players in the world that are better than Barry. But again, there's still no guarantees. Even with his excellent game, you still have to put the work in. But also you still have to want to put the work in. As you get older, that can get a little bit more challenging. Other distractions in your life. To get that balance between working hard and not compromising on maybe family and personal life. But he certainly looks that he's back to his very best.
Yes, and also once you drop out the 16, there's more qualifiers to go to, and you have to kind of be able to perform on a wet Wednesday in Sheffield or wherever, Barnsley, not a glamorous venue. Now, this has gone slightly wrong, I think. Played the cannon, but you could see he winced immediately. Looking now, has he got a plant here, or could he make it into one? Oh, what a bonus that was. That just lost the cue ball. And we saw from the last frame, getting sort of 30-odd, 40-odd in front against a player of Trump's quality isn't enough.
Yeah, the plant was missable. Couldn't totally commit to guaranteeing he got one of the ball colours. And you don't have to win the frame in one visit. He's 41 points ahead, has his opponent snookered, in control. And his patience and match play rewarded there. Afraid another opportunity.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We look at the big breaks, understandably, as a mark of quality. But like you say, you know, a 40, a good safety, and another 40 will win you the frame as well.
Against the top players, you can sometimes fall into the trap of thinking you're only going to get one chance per frame. You have to take it. And as a result, you can gamble when you shouldn't. Try and push the boat out. When you have the opportunity, yeah, you have to be positive and aggressive, decisive. But you also have to be smart and patient at times.
Yeah, Hawkins is known for his sort of steady temperament. Again, it doesn't sound like a big compliment, but in this sport, it's exactly what you need. I mean, you look at his professional career, it began in 1996, that's 27 years. I can't remember him ever getting involved in any trouble. Either doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing or even saying something people don't like. Just got on with playing. That's what he's about.
Yeah, just a genuine nice guy. And even if he ended up winning a lot of tournaments, I don't think anybody would be jealous or begrudge him. Such a nice guy. And maybe because of that lack of arrogance, that's why you tend to maybe just dismiss him, underestimate him. Certainly not one for telling you how good he is. Lets his game do the talking. But I said, when at his best, he's excellent. Very hard to beat.
He's also refereeing the match, it would seem, because the referee just had a brain freeze there, tried to put the blue on the pink spot. Barry is focused on everything here.
I presume Barry would have noticed that the blue is in the way.
So the black to lead by 68 with 67 on. Just lost his way initially, played the snooker behind the yellow, immediately got this second chance. So this match is very, very high quality, and it's going to be 2-2, it would seem, at the interval. With these two bringing out, yet again, the best in one another.
You can never tell exactly, but you just felt sure this was going to be a great match.
Yeah, I mean, just looking down the list of previous meetings, the last 4 times Trump has beaten Hawkins have all been in deciders. So traditionally, it's close. There was another one prior to that. So Trump, the 7 wins, 5 have been in deciders. And Hawkins, 2 of his wins of the 8 have been in deciders as well.
Just a great match player, Barry. No matter what way the match goes, no matter what the tactics are, no matter what's required, you always feel he has the answers for it. Lovely rhythm around the table, Barry, as well. Smooth and fluent, and yet nothing is rushed.
Yeah, and also just no sign of feeling anything about the last frame that he could have won. That's all gone. On with the next one. And he's dominated it, as we're seeing here. These two also are 1 and 2 on the Bet Victor series. It's early days in that yet. The European series, there's 8 events. It doesn't end till the Welsh Open. But whoever's top after the Welsh Open will take away 150,000 bonus. Judd Trump has won that in the past because Robert Milkins was the man who picked it up memorably this year. This tournament doesn't count towards it. So 41 in behind the yellow, got the immediate chance. And made a solid 84 to very impressively win that frame and take us to the interval with the players all square. Really good match this, high quality. There's been some heavy scoring. It was the dramatic third frame as well. Some good safety being played. It seems that Judd Trump v Barry Hawkins always delivers the goods as a match. And it's happening again here in Wuhan today. So the players are back for the second half of this match. It's been good stuff so far, and it's set up nicely. Judd Trump 2, Barry Hawkins 2. Two players increasingly difficult to split. It's 8-7 on the head-to-head to Hawkins. There's been a lot of deciding frame finishes between them. Who's going to prevail ultimately? We'll find out in the next hour or so.
That extra little bit of pace on the white just brought it away from the pack. Let Barry red to the corner. Again, if he stuns it, it'd be nicely on the blue. Options here if he's an angle to power into the pack, or maybe just play onto the red on the right hand side. Hadn't much angle, couldn't have played it any better. Hit the pink full in the face. The backspin pulled it away from the pack as well. This level comes down to small details. Just that half of a mistake, really, you'd say, by Judd, just making that escape just a little bit too hard. Gave Barry a chance, just a look at a pot, which he got, had the angle, and the way he's been playing Barry this season, fully expect him actually to win the frame from this visit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream position, really, isn't it? Red's open, black available. He's already made a century in frame one. So it's about focus, really. Just keep things simple here.
Yeah, when you're playing the top players and you think there's still plenty of frames to play, but of course against the top players, there's no guarantee in those frames you play you're going to get a chance. Whether it be their excellent play or even a little bit of luck, you can't guarantee you're going to get a chance. Just gone a little bit awkward there, Barry. Just off straight. Might have to just roll it in and play the red on the cushion. Ideally like to avoid playing that shot.
Yeah.
And that just a little bit more awkward there. Probably got a little bit preoccupied maybe where his bridge hand was and where the white was. The cardinal sin, forgot about the pot. I said, didn't want to drop in the black for that red.
Well, we'll see what happens here. The blacks run safe, but that could be maybe the most significant error so far in this match, because from the starting position that Hawkins was in, fully expected him to make something substantial. Just to say, Steve Maguire has gone 3-1 up. He's made a century, so he's just 2 away now from making his 500th of his career.
That kind of shot nobody plays better than Judd. Generates an awful lot of power. Didn't much angle. A lot of players would have been just have to settle for dropping the blue in and leaving the red from distance, but tremendous cue power. Such an asset. Such a range of shots he can play and play well. Position of play not guaranteed here off this red. Not the most difficult pot, but just the other red on the side cushion's kind of in the way. Ideally would like to pot it and stun up for blue or balk. Yeah, fully committed to the pot. Didn't gamble or sacrifice the pot, trying to play some great shot. Made sure the pot relied on a little bit of luck, which he's got. He'd love to obviously win this frame to go 3-2 up, but he'll be very aware of the significance of this match. 2 top players come down to small margins. He'll feel like it's a psychological blow. Barry was in, should have probably won the frame from it. So to come in and pinch this frame from him. Might need another big power shot around. Again, close to the side cushion. Makes it a bit more difficult.
Yeah, that was the only good news for Hawkins about missing the black. It's gone in an awkward spot, so Trump can't rely on it. That's why this is not quite as straightforward as it could have been. Yeah, Hawkins potted a red similar to this in frame 1 on the way to that century. And that's middle of the pocket stuff from Trump. They're all fantastic players, but so much is about how you're feeling in yourself. And Trump clearly has got all the good feelings back again after the victory on Sunday.
Need at least 2 more of these reds. Again, the ones close to the side cushion. They're not that close to the side cushion. So you feel there is margin for error. You need enough room to get in behind them. Again, look, putting this to get a nice angle on the black. Sorry, the pink to naturally be on the next red. Didn't want to be straight, and as a result, that might be forced into playing for the other red.
Well, it's been a great effort just to get this far, but he does still need the pink in. 34 in front with 35 on without the colour. It's not been straightforward. That black out of commission has not helped. So 1 more pot needed. And again, it's middle of the pocket. He didn't have to play position, of course, but even so, that's a terrific break from Trump. And the most important thing is it came off the back of Hawkins missing the black when he was in a golden spot. Now, just like this red in, it stops any playing on for snookers. Ah, well, dispatched into that corner pocket. I did say when the black was missed, it may be the most significant moment so far. That only applies if the opponent comes in and does what Trump's done here.
17.
Yeah, he's taken these very well, especially as you consider the black out of commission.
Well, it's been a brilliant break, this. So for the first time, he addresses the black. And it flies in to the middle. What a terrific break from Judd Trump. And an important one as well in this match. He leads 3-2. .97 clearance ended with that fabulous double on the black from Trump. He leads Barry Hawkins 3-2. Hawkins had the initial chance, but it went wrong. And he was thoroughly punished, and it wasn't a straightforward break that Trump made, but he kept it going brilliantly. This is where Hawkins' sort of calm, measured approach can only be a positive after losing a frame like that. Got to focus now on this one. Well, that helps, doesn't it? A little nudge at the right time can make a big difference.
Yeah, normally in this situation you'd roll up to the side of the pack, but obviously red's either side. In place that you feel guaranteed to leave a red. Scanning the table, desperate to try and find another option. Might just have to resort for trying to land literally dead weight, more or less touching those reds. Shot time a minute, and very rare. Judd's shot time would be a minute or more. Just shows the difficulty of the situation he's in.
Well, he's had a look at the plant, but it would have to be made, and it's a bit risky. So anyway, he's going back. Referee here, Wang Wei.
Clever choice of shot, really, by Judd there. Obviously worried about leaving this red on if he went into the pack. It's the danger red, so if he rolls up close to it, it's unlikely he'd leave it on. And that's a bit shorter again. Barry might have another look at the plant. Okay, could get the extension out and play the red. Played as a shot to nothing. Just felt Barry might have played that. You just feel he might get a better chance of a pot. You feel at some point Judd is going to judge the pace of it. If anything, it's worse he's getting.
All this from a lucky flick off the brown.
It's surprising there. That even looked a little bit even nicer again for Barry, but he's a little bit straight on the red, a little bit more appealing for Barry. Again, considering Judd had 4 attempts at it, quite poor to have left this. Well, I'm surprised Barry's put that back again. I can't really see what more he's hoping to achieve.
Well, another attempt from Trump. It's his 5th. Looks like he's going to make contact at least, but this is what he was fearing, leaving a much easier pot for Hawkins. So it looks like the gamble from Hawkins has paid off. Wasn't bound to, of course.
Yeah, for Judd to have 5 attempts at it and leave something so simple for Barry is actually quite poor. Can take a shot or two sometimes to judge the pace and the angle, but I mean, certainly with 5 attempts, he should have made a better job of it. And it could prove costly.
So he got the fortune with the cue ball running in behind the green. Now it's down to him to make the most of it. So much great analysis of snooker. We saw Al McManus at the touchscreen last week. But sometimes it's just an unexpected incident that you don't foresee, like a little flick like he got, that snooker Trump, that set up this chance that could turn a match round again.
Particularly if you lose a bad frame or frame should have won. In the next frame, it's always nice and reassuring if you get an easy starter. Get back your rhythm, your confidence. Far more likely to forget what had went on before. Yeah, caught that end red a little bit thicker than he wanted. Wanted a half ball contact to get away from the pack, because that red at the bottom of the pack obviously you can see is on. Still on now, but obviously a lot more difficult with the spider. Not just to pot it, but to try and get on the black. Need a natural angle. Won't be able to force or maneuver the cue ball up apart from its natural path. Cue that very well. Very awkward cueing, very short, jabby cue action, which it has to be because it's so difficult, but couldn't have played any better.
No, it always looked like he'd overcut that.
Yeah, just stretching, and with that trace of right-hand side, you can just see it just pushed out, caught a bit thinner. Again, couldn't be afford to be aggressive and go into the pack. Just looking to pot it and try and nudge something out. Nothing simple, certainly for Judd, but he's still trying desperate just to try and pot something if he possibly can. Obviously with the black over the pocket. He was never going to walk away from the table without having to go with something. He played it well. Of course, he was in the black over the pocket and got cover. Got that too thick there, obviously. Didn't want to hit that red at the side cushion. The fact that he did hit it, probably a bit unfortunate. Might not have left anything, or if he has left anything, see that it's difficult. So close together. Still might be tempted to try and drop it into the middle. Yeah, chance at the pace he's playing. If he was to miss it, could leave it.
Yeah, he wasn't absolutely sure about the cue ball here, but he's potted the red. He would have been very unlucky, I think, to have gone off. I mean, he was unlucky earlier in the frame, obviously, behind that greens. But now he's in. 40 behind as the break starts. If you were Barry Hawkins right now, I think you'd be concerned.
Yeah, first glance, this looks, even though he's 40 points behind, looks a better chance than the previous frame. Obviously, the black wasn't in play.
Meanwhile, his good friend, Jack Lazowski, he's going 4-1 down to Mark Allen, who's over the line in that fifth frame. So, the Northern Irishman looking good to continue his bid to become world number one. Obviously, he needs Ronnie O'Sullivan at some point to get beaten.
16.
It's a little bit short of pace there. Still has a red. Yeah, play that well. Looks to be more or less straight on the black. Shouldn't be any difficulty for Judd to screw back off the cushion. Can hit that harder than he wanted. A little bit fortunate. That little kiss could have went wrong. Similar to the last frame, if you could come back and win it, apart from the impact it has on the scoreboard, the impact it'll have on his confidence, and also Barry's belief could be massive.
35.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkins hasn't done much wrong, but in a match of this quality, you don't have to. He's the odd shot here and there he maybe would have got away with earlier in the tournament. In snooker, you have to play better than your opponent. Now, if your opponent is struggling, you won't have to play your best, but sometimes you can play very near your best and still lose. This always seemed to be a match where the winner, and we still don't know who that's going to be, but where the winner would have to play very near their best, because we know they're both in form. And Trump, so far, is edging it.
51.
Maybe straighten this, make it a little bit more difficult to try and get very close to those two reds. Would have liked an angle on the black to naturally go towards. And was able to play with top right hand running side to bring it out into the middle of the table. And just has to roll it in, go up for ball colours, probably the green. Just had a look there to see would the yellow give him the best option. Be a little bit straight. Whereas the green, he can naturally come off the cushion, get in behind the red.
Just needs the red. And we don't have the pot success stats, unfortunately. But what has Trump missed today? Hardly anything I can remember. Needs this one. And that one has stayed out. So he has missed one, and that was for the frame, but you can see he played with a lot of safety in mind.
Yeah, Judd, when he played the green, probably felt just get it over in the cushion. You'll have to be perfect on the middle of the corner. The amount of times you land kind of in between a little piece, you still expected him to pot it. Again, there was a little bit of pressure on it. 27 ahead just needed. And certainly this red in the context of the match is now massive.
Well, he's made amends in pretty spectacular fashion. What about this one? Like I say, you know, he's made fewer errors. It wouldn't have been an error to miss that, but in terms of potting, really that red that we just saw him miss, pretty much the only one I can think of that's been significant. And in the end, it wasn't significant because he knocked the red in next time of asking. So now just looking to control things here. Hawkins needs a snooker. And he's in one. But it's only one, and some nasty spots here.
Should have been relieved in playing that shot. Barry obviously disturbed the blue and pink. They're so close together, it was more or less guaranteed a snooker. Would have given Barry the option of putting up to and including the brown. Again, they're still in favourable positions to get a snooker.
And they both had a good look from either side of the table. See, Trump could see it, could actually pot it. But barring a successful snooker, there'll be 2 frames in it for the first time in this match, leaving Trump just 1 from victory. One match that was quite memorable. They played in the German Masters semis. It was actually in Milton Keynes in the lockdown. And Hawkins led 5-1 and Trump, he won 6-5. He played a sort of glamour shot on the green at one point, stopping it dead, which was voted shot of the year. I mean, it didn't sort of matter in terms of the match, in theory, in terms of winning the frame, but it did seem to change something in the frame, actually, in the match. Just the fact that he gave him a bit of belief and came back to win the tournament.
Yeah, that green got plenty of views on Instagram and TikTok. Phenomenal shot. Best bit was Barry laughing in the chair at it. The sheer audacity of it.
It's a nasty little area, isn't it, around that green pocket there with those colours. So this is not a done deal yet, although not got anything close to a snooker there. If Trump can put the yellow away, then Hawkins needs 2 snookers. You don't strike me, Fergal, as a TikTok man, but you know all the modern terms, don't you?
I've heard about it.
I think the most watched clip that Will Snooker put up there is actually Rob Spencer catching that ball that Luca Brissell knocked off the table, like a sort of slip catcher in cricket. Got millions of views. Now then, it's all a bit dicey suddenly. Can he just hit the side of the yellow or come off the cushion? Still fancy him to hit this. Yeah, and he stopped it dead. That was the danger there. Well, that obviously doesn't help, and the yellow is on as well, so assuming Trump knocks this in, it's surely his frame, and as I say, for the first time, it'll be too clear. Hawkins staying in his seat, so Judd Trump has played a couple of good frames here, and he's suddenly in control of the match. It's been high quality. He leads 4-2. So Barry Hawkins up against it now, trailing by 4 frames to 2. Trump 1 away from what would be an 84th ranking quarter-final for him. He's been very disciplined in this match, Trump. He's played well in all departments, but not over yet.
Yeah, Barry would be concerned leaving this red out. Pot come around the back of the black. He'd be even more concerned now following that kiss. Barry will be aware he might have played his last shot in this tournament. Still obviously a lot to do. But with his confidence, the way he's playing, you don't feel Judd's going to struggle to get over the line if he gets a good chance. Modern game, the break-off, so important. Just can't afford to leave any opponent a red, because it literally can be the end of the frame. It didn't hit that well at all. That kind of shot. Low on the blue, having to go in and out of balk. Nobody plays it better. Such a wide range of shots to play it. And to judge the pace at that power.
I mean, there's a long way to go in this match and this tournament yet, but if you were to win back-to-back titles, it would be some achievement. To win back-to-back is one thing, but to do it in different parts of the world in consecutive weeks, that would be some achievement. With all the travelling that's involved, the different time zone. As I say, a long way to go yet, but that would be maybe one of his best achievements if he did it.
Didn't have a great angle on the black. Was unlikely even with his cue power, was going to get all the reds open, but just looking for one to pop out. Again, nice spot again to be looking. If he doesn't have the angle to go into them, to play for that loose red again. And the key to the frame and match here, you feel, is if you get parallel with the black, have that angle. If it's too straight, get on the blue. It was looking like he was going to play it that way, he's going to hit the pack. The shot of a confident player. Played it very well.
Yeah, it's starting to look a bit ominous now. Trump has played seriously well today. She's got to now try and finish it off. And as I said at the start, whoever won this match really in that half would automatically be favourite to reach the final. That will certainly be the case if Trump comes through. It doesn't mean he will, but looks around, there's no other top 16 players in the top half of the draw other than these two.
If he does go on to lose, it'd be frustrating for Barry. Could have easily been 4-2 ahead himself. And then at 4-2, obviously still in the game, from his break off to leave his opponent to red. Match has just slipped away from him. But then you can see Barry's in very good form, back to his best. He's going to be very dangerous. Not just in the next tournament, but every tournament. Just gone that little bit lower on the black that he would have liked. Makes the pot and also the cannon more difficult, particularly as it's more or less match ball. Okay, desperately come around to see, does that red go into the middle? Is there a gap between the other reds? Just has to pot it and literally leave the white where it is. He'd be automatically on the pink.
So the pink to lead by 70 with 67 on. The chance came in this frame and he has taken it superbly. He's played really well today. Good signs yesterday. You know, you thought he may be in trouble. He's got to play 2 matches potentially. He might slip up, but it didn't happen. And it seems he just brought the form with him on the plane from the UK. And as I said, if he can win this tournament, to do back-to-back in different countries with really no break at all in between, that would be very impressive. Judd Trump, who won the last ranking event played in China 4 years ago, the World Open in 2019, before the shutdown began.
Yeah, he's only missed 1 ball of note. The last red in the last frame. I said very, very high.
And then
success.
And then he thundered it in, didn't he? Next shot.
Yeah.
As if it had never happened. Can he end with a century? He's made 26 already this season.
Yeah, but throughout the whole match, hasn't looked like missing. Playing bags of confidence, very comfortable.
Yeah, I think Judd Trump back to his best is good news for the sport. He's a popular player, of course, a unique player, really, and a great winner, a great champion of our sport. Back in the winner's enclosure, and having won one trophy now, he wants to just keep on winning them.
Yeah, and like all great winners and champions, probably been a little bit jealous that he's been out of the spotlight.
So there's the century, number 27 this season. He's at the top of that list. Yeah. Is the exhibition about to start here? He tried to start it. What he's done, he's ended the match in very impressive fashion. In all areas, he was strong today. Judd Trump reaches his 84th world ranking event quarter-final. He's clearly going to take some stopping, winning the English Open last weekend on the plane to Wuhan, and he's carried on the form, and that was a seriously good performance. His last 4 victories over Hawkins were all in deciding frames. This one was more comfortable. He needed one chance in the concluding frame, and he won it with a break of 100. So Judd Trump goes forward to the last 8 to play Xiao Guodong or Tom Ford.